Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 34 of the 240p Club.
What is episode 34 about?
Our second birthday! Yay!
I just made my cat run halfway across the apartment.
Animal cruelty.
I'm sorry, Stormy.
Hey man, you talk about that video game.
I'm so sorry, Stormy. I love you.
I'm sorry, Stormy.
Aww.
Yeah, he'll be okay.
We love you, Stormy.
Okay, we have a full house tonight. We are celebrating our second birthday. Tomorrow, after you listen to our podcast, you tune in. It is July 21st. It's Sunday. We will be going live all day on Twitch. All day. Absolutely, positively, all day.
Until you get sick of us.
Yeah, and then even then we'll still be on the air. 12 hours we are streaming. We're going to have a Patreon account or something like that up and running by then. Please donate to us. Give us a few bucks to buy us beer. Because we're going to need lots more. Because I'm drinking the very last beer and it's depressing. So anyway, let's introduce who we have in the house tonight. First of all, I want to give shout-outs to John Falloon, who's not here tonight, and Kyle, who's not here tonight. They have some other obligations, but they are still 240p Club family. Someone that is here tonight that decided to drop in, he was on one or two of our podcasts. I'm going to introduce Nikki's brother here, Mr. Phil.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Okay, that is a plug to our friend Steve. Hi, Steve. He hates that.
Yeah.
Now that you've busted all our sound equipment by shattering eardrums, I'd like to introduce Phil's slightly more quiet but slightly more violent sister here.
Hi. Well, you said I was more quiet.
Yeah, but no.
Hello.
More quiet. Yeah.
It's very nice to meet you all.
Send all fan mail to care of the 240p Club at Nikki.
Yeah, send me some mail. Pay my tuition.
Yes.
I will say very nice things if you will pay for my tuition.
Or nasty if that's what you're into.
Yeah, that's what you're into.
Hey. Also, sitting on the couch right now, he's by himself on this couch right here.
Hello, I'm much quieter, and that's about it.
Yeah, I'm weirded out now.
He's Ray. He is Ray. He's like our glue to this podcast, man.
I'm weirded out.
Alright, this is a very unusual podcast. Why is this unusual? Because Nikki's always weirded out, so that's not unusual. No, this is an unusual podcast because every year for our birthday, we decide to pull back the curtains a bit, go a little behind the scenes, chit-chat at behind the scenes what we're doing at the 240p Club. What did we do the past year at the 240p Club?
I got a job. You've been working a ton of overtime, and Nikki's been at school.
Pursuing her bachelor's degree in, what are you studying?
Kinesiology.
Oh. Is that a fancy word for fixing bones? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, yeah, the second year has been a bit quieter than the first year.
Yeah, I was researching this podcast. Yeah, I do research. Fuck you.
I gotta research all the time, every day.
Yeah.
So, I was researching this. Podcast, our first anniversary was podcast 23. This is podcast 34, which tells you there were... How many podcasts? Do the math, my friends. That was 11, I believe. This is number 11 since then, which means we actually did not do one a month, if you're thinking about it. So we did one every so often.
We honestly really didn't have a lot of time to record because of our schedules, so...
Yeah, our schedules, I was working a ton of overtime. Ray got a new job. Nikki loaded a few courses onto her regimen, so, getting together to record was a challenge. I wasn't about to do a Skype session because it's going to sound like shit. Not that our podcast sounds like overly great, but it is pretty easier when you have everyone in the same room recording.
We were also planning a live podcast about weird video game commercials, but since the weather was so crappy this winter, we just never got the chance.
I want to tell this story. Okay. One of our podcast ideas, we have meetings every now and again. One of our podcast ideas was to lampoon and praise and go what the fuck to a few ads over the years for some video games. I have the list right here. I'm not reading that list because you're going to have to watch the podcast because, yes, we do intend to do this eventually. So we decided to do it for Winterfest because, hey, Winterfest was a successful podcast last year. That was podcast 15. If you want to go on our YouTube and check it out.
240p Club.
Yeah, YouTube at 240p Club. So, going back a ways. Weather was kind of crap. Once we finally decided to do it, Winterfest was over. Yep, I read that. I was like, Winterfest over this Saturday. I think I was reading that on a Sunday, so it was already gone. So it was like, oh, that was that. We tried to do a Summerfest podcast, but there was no viable filming location. Once we finally did get a viable filming location, we got chased out by security because we couldn't really film late at night. So we fast forward it. We're just like, okay, I have a park nearby. We could just film this at the local park. So we decide, okay, we're going to gather this date and record this. Well, that date came up raining, and we did not want to spend our... I think this was March or April. It was one of these months. We did not want to spend our April in the middle of 40 degrees outside and rain. It wasn't that cold, but with the rain, it was going to be cold. So, okay, we'll do it next week. Next week, also rain, the only day we could record. So we just decided the gods were against us and did not want us to record this podcast. So we put it on the shelf. However, it's going to happen again because we have a few outdoor events planned this year. So you are absolutely, positively, 100% going to see this podcast. It's going to be awesome, and it's going to make podcasting great again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we finally get this done, so you get to see all our pretty faces.
Again.
Yeah, again.
This is another thing I want to throw out there. I just did the Make Podcasting Great Again. I make political jokes here and there, but we don't cover politics here. Why? Because that's going to just result in a fight. So we stay far away from politics unless it affects one of our own, in which case we'll just say, hey, we're cool with everybody. We don't care like what classification you fall under, as long as you're not an asshole.
We don't need politics for violence. I can just knock you out right here.
Yeah, we got plenty of violence here. Nikki, especially if Nikki gets a mallet, then we're all screwed.
Mallet.
Who needs a mallet? I can just use my fist.
Yeah, she's Taekwondo master at this point.
Yeah.
Well, that would be a lot of kicking, but, well, we have punches in Taekwondo also.
Well, yeah, you gotta set up your kicks, don't you?
Yeah.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to divide people with nonsense.
Exactly.
Yeah. If we're dividing people, it's because they have different opinions on video games.
Yeah, that's it. And I think I divided a few people. Guy trashing the N64 controller. We got a few emails.
Well, I mean, come on with that thing. You really did?
I got a few emails.
I mean, it was
not a lot, man.
Yeah,
not a lot.
I mean, it was a cool controller, but I mean, honestly, it looks like, I don't even know if I'm allowed to really say it.
Go! Do it!
It looks like 3 dicks with a bunch of fucking balls.
How? What?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, seriously, it looks like a goddamn dildo.
What?
Yeah. And
What?
Listen. I mean, that might be the greatest dildo ever made. Good. Nintendo 64 controller.
I don't know, it's not very sturdy.
God.
Listen, it broke for me when I tried to play Majora's Mask.
Yeah, but it looks like a fucking dildo.
It does not look like a dildo. How would it look like a dildo? Where do you have 3 holes simultaneously taking all 3 parts at the same time?
I don't fucking know. You like if you're real fucking kinky.
What is this, like Total Recall?
Yeah. Like I said, I bought a dildo for my buddy for his birthday.
What?
Yeah. It was a beautiful thing. It was
Louie.
It was my buddy Lou.
I can't even talk right now.
Go ahead, man. So here's what happened. I pulled out a box for his birthday, and I was like, "Ladies and gentlemen, please shake hands with the president." And he came out, and it was a Donald Trump dildo. I didn't show you what it looked like?
No, I don't want to see it.
Oh,
I don't care.
We're recording now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm leaving that on tape, but...
Yeah, but the 64 controller looks like Total Recon dildo. There you go. I'll get hate mail now.
No, it does not. It never did. It did not look like a phallic symbol. Phil, you just scarred us for life here, man.
Yeah.
We never went that far with the N64 controller.
That's what it looks like.
I only said it was awkward to hold and it felt weird playing GoldenEye.
What kind of hate mail did you get?
I got a few people that defended it. I never got anything violent.
You can't defend the freaking thing.
You can't get violent without me here. I'm the violent person.
They weren't like angry. It was just more like, hey, I disagree with you. We have some civil fans, man. We don't have
no love what they hear.
We don't have the usual trolls that populate a lot of other podcasts of retro gaming. No. We actually have a fairly decent now of people watching and listening, emailing us, letting us know this shit.
That's good. We don't want trolls.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, please don't.
Now
not those troll dolls.
No, now we're gonna get trolls. Thanks for saying you don't want trolls, but that's okay.
That's
the way the internet works. But that's okay. We've gotten trolled. We did a couple Twitch streams. I remember doing a 6-hour Mario. I think it lasted 6 hours at that point. I played all 96 levels of Super Mario World in one sitting. I was dead ass tired from work. I did not want to do this, but it's like, you know what? I committed myself to it. I'm gonna pull it through. I did 96 levels. I got a little grumpy towards the end.
You could have just made me keep playing Hotel Mario,
No, I probably should have, but you know what? I'm a man of my word. When I say I'm going to play 96 levels of Super Mario World, I'm playing 96 levels of Super Mario World. Man, of course, after that, I am not playing Mario World again until next Mario Day.
Yeah.
March the 10th is the next time.
Well, that's like the next Mario game.
I think for Mario Day, we should probably try to hit up Mario Maker.
I would love that.
Mario Maker. When people make those different levels, hacks and all that.
Right, you have that, right?
Yeah, some of those stages are absolutely brutal.
Okay, yeah. Well, we'll
some of them are still like brutal.
We'll design some. Why don't we design some? Okay, yeah, that's future plans.
Yeah, like I was watching.
We'll have to see if they come out with one for Switch in the interim.
I hope they do. That's one of the games I'm desperate for them to port over to Switch. They've ported a lot of other titles. They're not porting that over.
Are there Star Fox, Star Fox hacks?
I'm sure there are. Well, they have Star Fox 2, which is official.
Yeah, now it's official, and that
now
the collection
came out in the Super NES Classic.
There you go.
So you have that. Maybe we'll bust open some of these games tomorrow. If you tune in tomorrow, we are absolutely playing. I'm going to play at least an hour of Final Fantasy 3. Maybe we'll just get through the Nourishing Minds, but since I reviewed it on the website, I talked about it on the last podcast. I mentioned it a few times, basically this is one of my favorite games ever. So you know what, we're going to bust it out tomorrow, but it's probably just going to be for an hour. I'm just going to play the opening sequence just because it's there.
I'm playing Barbie Supermodel.
Yeah, Nikki is definitely playing Barbie Supermodel
at
one point. And also, we are busting open Pilotwings at one point. I want to see you crash a few times.
Yeah.
Phil, you'd be happy to know our last podcast, we were talking about a story. Nikki told it on our podcast. This is great. About the time you were hanging out at a dinner party. It was you two, your dad, and a bunch of other people, and then he just left the dinner party and joined you two playing Pilotwings.
Oh, yeah.
I want to hear your perspective. Tell me the story. Because Nikki told the awesome version of it, but I want to hear yours.
I mean, we had to be 8 years old if I remember it. I mean...
Yeah, remember?
I'm trying to remember it because you want to talk about years ago, dude. I mean, I got an outstanding memory for a lot of things, but I vividly remember it a little bit, like where he said,
Well, there was the other TV that we played all the games on.
Now I remember. Okay, so yeah, he just walked. They were all in there. We just got Pilotwings, and we're sitting there playing it. And then, we ate pizza, talking about, hey, I didn't see you, and blah, 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 blah. The adults are like that. And, as we grow up, we talk about that kind of thing where, we don't see each other for blah, 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 blah. Remember? Now, our daddy came, and he wanted to play Pilotwings, and he loved it. I mean, it was just like he saw it like the flying the airplane part. I mean, you're going on that third level. The guy lands, and you're running around like over the ocean on the little plane like that, going for those rings. And I played the other day before I left for work, and I haven't played in a long time. It's like, wow, like.
Yeah, let me tell you
how awesome that game is.
Oh, he got hooked on it.
Yeah, so you're at this dinner party, and you know the way Nikki told the story, your dad just up and left because these people were talking about nothing but bullshit.
Yeah,
guys are
well, that's what they do. All they do is talk about bullshit.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, you want to talk about nice things, so stuff that were fun. I mean, rather than it was boring.
So okay, so he joined you guys for Pilotwings.
Yeah, he played a lot of games with us. I remember
the way you told the story, I had the visual where he just looked over like at the dinner guests, like asking him, why'd you leave? Why are you playing that game? Mm-hmm. Crashed the plane.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because remember we were crashing a plane on purpose just to. I remember we used to crash the what's it called? The Rocket Bell.
The Rocket Bell was the best part.
We used to crash the Rocket Bell guy on purpose.
He looked like a barbecue after he
Oh no!
I mean, he flew him all the way up there.
This is like a family Nintendo game. He looked like a barbecue.
No, I'm telling you, it was like
he did.
Oh man!
He was sitting there, and then he blinks his eyes like he didn't know what's going on. He's like sitting there. Then the music. And it starts all lying around. The dude's look like a barbecue crisp.
Oh no!
And then that Shirley chick, she's like, she's got that angry look, but you don't hear the voice. You hear it going like this. And the captions are all like.
But you can tell just how pissed off these people are.
Oh God, Tony, he got mad too. When you crashed that plane. Oh,
the thing he says to you is, "It was really hard, wasn't it?"
No. There was there's the part
don't make fun of me.
Where you just fly away for a while instead of you go into the area where you land. You can just go fly away until the program says no more. If it's nonsense, then Tony gets mad, real mad. I forgot what he says, but.
So Phil, I take it you've played Pilotwings many times.
Oh yeah,
I never played.
I know you have worked during our live stream that Sunday, but one of these days I wanted you to come down. You and Nikki, we're gonna set it up. You guys are just gonna play Pilotwings, both of you.
Okay.
Oh, this is gonna be a Pilotwings race.
That would be nice.
Not a race, just you guys.
I mean, a race, I'll win.
You know, hand off the controller here and there. You know,
not to show off. Because the thing was more
like a co-op thing. Like, hey, let's just play.
We'll have some fun, man.
Absolutely.
Now, the craziest thing about that one, I never played Pilotwings 64, but I'll tell you a little thing about that. How we knew this Nintendo 64 was coming out when it was a Nintendo Power 95.
Yeah, remember it was called the Ultra 64.
Yeah, and they said on the cover Pilotwings 64. I never played that game. Maybe once or twice I played it, but I never played it. Pilotwings 64.
Ray played it.
I played.
Is it any good?
It's good. I played 64, but never the original one.
Oh, the original's the best.
Yeah, I like the original one.
I struggled with 64 as a kid too. Just not to the degree you guys have with the
Describe a controller, man. Yeah.
Oh no, he doesn't struggle with the SNES version. If he crashes, it's because it's on purpose.
Yeah.
For me, yeah, I struggle.
You just gotta practice, you know? That's the key.
Yo, let me tell you, I played Pilotwings a few days ago, and I actually did pretty decently with the with everything. I started screwing up with the skydiving. Now.
Skydiving's fun. I like that.
I screwed up. I did the plane fight. I screwed up the skydiving.
I'll throw this out there with our current emulators, and also the SNES Classic. When that came out, they have save states and stuff. So it is much easier now than it was as a kid to get good at some of these games because you're struggling as a kid to reach a certain point. and then once you finally reach it, another point frustrates you. And then you just have to repeat the cycle all over again.
Oh, yeah.
Nowadays, you could have a save state right before a certain level. Just dive right into that level until you get good at it. And then eventually you could play through the whole game because you've pretty much nailed it.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a different, I guess, how should I put it, a different way of learning some of these titles than it was when we were all kids. But it's still just as interesting.
Yeah, that game is like, I love that game. I'll say it, I do. But it gets so weird after a while. Like, you play it, there's all these... You think you're playing a nice flight simulation game.
Oh, I've mentioned this part many times.
With like... You think you're playing a friendly game, for lack of a better term. You fly a plane, you do a hang glider. And then all of a sudden, like, you beat the last part, Big Al, and then he gets this, like, chopper attack helicopter, defeat the terrorist syndicate. Like, how the hell did that happen?
Yeah, it turned dark, didn't it?
I mean, seriously dark.
I was watching a stream of this, and Big Al will tell you, like, hey, you need to go save the three of them.
They were fucking kidnapped.
But the funny thing is, the guy actually, like Big Al will ask you, do you want to go save them? Yes or no. There's a yes or no option, and he hit no, and he's like, well, Big Al says, what are you, a chicken? Like, he'll start mocking you.
Chicken shit.
Yeah, he'll start saying, like, you're chicken shit, chickens don't fly. And then the next option is, okay, so then why don't you go out and do it?
Oh, you tell Big Al to do it.
That is the next option, yeah.
I really have to play that again.
I'll show this to you,
That's funny.
So then he says, oh no, I only have a license for a motorcycle. I'm like, how the hell did you become a flight instructor when you only got a motor?
Great.
Wow!
Like, this motherfucker only has a motorcycle
probably
license.
couldn't think of anything else.
Anyway, so,
I'm going to throw it out there. My experience with Pilotwings after... I didn't get it because, even though it was a launch title for the SNES, I didn't have an SNES till, like, a couple of years down the line. I had a Sega Genesis. That was my system. So, my experience with Pilotwings, I had a strategy guide authorized by Nintendo. It was awesome. I still have it in my bathroom. Why? Because I read random video game magazines in my bathroom. I don't know. But anyway, I had this, and they go over all the levels because I think there's either a password system or a stage select code. There's one or the other. But they basically have everything, and they talk about this game, like Flying Mission 1, Flying Mission 2. Flying Mission 2 is where you fight the Russians,
Russians.
Yeah. Or unnamed enemy,
The Syndicate.
Yeah, I think it was
Syndicate.
I think they just called it the Syndicate.
Okay.
It was like they were kidnapped for all of a sudden. Like,
so every one of these titles around that time, it was former KGB, because the Soviet Union was broken up, now it's Russia. And
yeah.
So, Russia used to be the enemy, the Soviets used to be the enemy, etc. Now it shifted focus to the former KGB, which is a lot of like action movies. So I mean, I could, the Syndicate's just,
specify.
Yeah, it was so cheesy. Like.
Well, let's move on from Pilotwings.
Anyway,
talk about Pilotwings all
night. So I'll be definitely playing Barbie Supermodel, and you'll probably hear and see me like scream at the computer a lot because at the first stage, nobody knows how to drive. Anyway, go on with what you were gonna say.
Yeah, Joe has been hyping up Ninja Gaiden for a while, especially in regards to me playing it, so maybe you'll see me playing it.
Well, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I definitely want to see
That's all you, man.
I will probably not make it past the second phase of the last boss, though.
Oh, wow.
If you do throw a controller, don't throw it in my direction.
Yeah, please don't throw controllers at me, or...
Yeah, don't throw controllers, period, because it's stupid.
Well, yeah. You get frustrated. I mean,
when it frustrates a video game, you might go, oh, I lost, and you bang the couch or something, but that's it.
You know what we need? Like a punching bag in here, like not even like a punching bag, like one of those little things that you just go boop.
Yeah, stress reliever.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Bring it stress ball.
Okay, so let's talk about the past year. What was one of our favorite moments from the past year? Like, what did we do?
Not seeing you for 3 weeks.
Ron Meany.
Yeah.
What was one of our favorite moments?
I would have to say streaming Hotel Mario, just because I'm surprised it actually worked.
Yeah, dude, it looked pretty good. I mean, the stream looked crystal clear. I was watching it at work on my tablet, so that was my experience with it. But yeah, it looked great.
This, of course, I don't think I'm spoiling much when I say I don't actually own a CDI because of the prohibitive price. So yeah, I tried the Zelda games. They don't quite work 100% on there yet. Hotel Mario doesn't even either. Like, if I were to go back to that game, I would have to like probably spend an hour navigating the menu because it's the way it is now. Like, you can't navigate the menu to get to the next level or wherever you saved.
It's I don't know. It looked pretty complicated. I've never worked with CDI emulators, so I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
When it comes to like dead hardware or unpopular hardware, emulation tends to come really slowly from this.
Although the 3DO worked pretty well. I mean, I have a 3DO emulator. That kind of worked well. I just want to throw out there on the 240p Club, a lot of people in the retro gaming scene get a lot of criticism for using emulators. Me personally, I use them because the simplicity. When we're setting up a stream, this is much easier than buying $1,000 worth of equipment, setting up an original Nintendo, getting the alcohol and the Q-tips. You know, you get the point. You get the point. This is why I use emulators. Granted, I love to support the original artist as best as I could, and will happily buy any one of these titles whenever I get the money and the opportunity.
You know, even Shaka Conroy, who always like does his Let's Plays on the original hardware, he was forced to use emulators for Mother 1 and Mother 3 because the translations just weren't available on actual hardware.
Right, there's that, you know, and finding the controllers, I mean...
Well, the controllers is the easy part. The rest of the hardware.
I mean, and if it works, I mean...
I'll throw this out. The retro gaming scene is very good with restoring hardware. So
okay, good.
A lot of like secondary, like it won't be obviously the original hardware.
No,
It will be modded to the point where it will work just like the original hardware. Prime example, I used to search Turbo Duos on eBay, and one of the main sellers of these basically modded the PC Engine. The cartridge slot kind of broke off, so they wound up 3D printing one and then spray painting it black. So basically it's an aftermarket part they manufacture themselves. Use a lot of these. They put RGB switches on them, and another thing is they are not region locked, which is very important with playing the Turbo Duo and the PC Engine, because a lot of the best titles for that system were never released here just because of marketing and the fact that that system was really considered dead in 1993 in the United States, whereas, you know, over in Japan, you know, that system lasted, I think, how long? Until about 98, I figure.
Wow! Come on.
Yeah, their games coming
That's
out.
a long time, dude.
Coming out for a while.
Yeah. Big difference.
Yeah.
But that was, you know, getting a little something later. Nintendo 64 doing the disc drive kind of thing.
Yeah, they never released it. Honestly, it didn't even come out in Japan. It was just...
It was horrible there. They said it was a marketing failure.
Yeah, well, it was based off the Nintendo the Famicom disc drive, which was actually successful, to the point where they had a promotion where you bring blank Famicom discs to certain locations and you get to download a game.
There was a Famicom like that?
Yeah, the Famicom disc drive was a very popular console.
Nice.
Yeah, over in Japan, like a lot of classic games like Legend of Zelda, Metroid, and of course Mario 2, Doki Doki Panic were all released for the disc system.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I think Castlevania and Castlevania 2 also were.
I don't think Castlevania 2 was. I think the first Castlevania was.
Castlevania 2 was. Just Castlevania 3 wasn't because of the unique sound chip.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'll have to look that up. I know I have a list of like Famicom disc drive games.
Yeah.
Wikipedia has a very handy list, but
it's a list. Yeah, go ahead.
Talking about us, because you know we try to cover the video games, but this is a podcast talking about us. I know we went to that Pilotwings tangent, the Famicom
That was
tangent.
fun. That was fun. Yeah, that was fun.
Ray, you remember a certain event that happened in August of 2017 that involved a certain blue bomber.
Mega Man.
Of course, yes, Mega Man for Mega Paws.
Yeah, do you remember who won Mega Man for Mega Paws?
Me.
No, you didn't.
Well, Here's the thing. I decided in advance not to practice because I didn't want to have an unfair advantage.
That's what they all say.
So predictably, Joe ended up taking it. I don't remember by how much.
I think I was about 2 bosses ahead of you, actually.
I think that besides me dying like an idiot on Mega Man 2 on the final boss, I think the problem was also Mega Man 5, I did not get beat. I didn't remember where the parts were. So, yeah, that cost me a lot of time on the last boss of that game, too.
Basically, I think the next Mega Man for Mega Paws, which is happening August 4th, is going to be a lot closer than last year's. It was a fun event, man. I was watching video of it, and it just brought really back memories. Like, we all set up our, computers a certain way. Again, unfortunately, we used emulators just because the real NES hardware would have been like a little bit of a challenge to, basically stream properly. I feel bad because, I like to use the original hardware if we can, but it's just so much easier with emulators these days. So, to make it up, I displayed all 1 through 6, like I have the original carts, including the instruction books for most of them. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't have the box, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's still awesome.
I might have the box for 4 somewhere, but yeah, basically I just had them on display, a few other things. It worked out well. Honestly, because of the way the donation box is set up, I'm not really sure exactly how much we raised for Paws, but I know we donated a hefty chunk between all 4 of us. So, Paws was definitely paid, and we feel really good about that. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter who won in that case, because the animals won.
Aww. Yeah, that was won, it was the animals.
Yes, that was one of my favorite moments being part of the 240p Club. We hyped it up on our birthday stream last year, and, now we're doing it 1 year later. We can actually talk about it because it happens. Mm-hmm. So, I was super thrilled with that moment. That was the moment in the 240p Club where I felt legitimized. It's like, okay, I'm playing games for a charity right now. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm basically setting up people to pledge some with their hard-earned money in order to benefit the welfare of some homeless pets.
Aww.
That was a beautiful feeling, man, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful.
I'm sure we made some pet's day for that.
Aww,
yeah, we definitely kept Paws running for a while. Unfortunately, I don't think we raised as much money as some of our local sports teams have raised for Paws, but you know what? That's okay. It's just a matter of $300 donation is just as good as a $300,000 donation because it's all going towards the animals, and we're giving what we can. So, yeah, obviously we're doing that again. August 4th, tune in to Twitch, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will all be gathering again to Mega Man for Mega Paws. Also,
be a good time.
Yes. Also, that has nothing to do with our all-day stream, which is tomorrow, and basically you get to put up with us for 12 straight hours.
Hooray!
How does that feel?
Yeah.
That's gonna be horrible.
Yeah, I know. You guys are in the room just chilling with me the entire time.
That sounds fun, man. I think it sounds fun.
Hopefully we get Floon to come out. Floon's one of our regular guests. He was on for a lot of the early podcasts. He made it to the live podcast, and he made it to the Beat 'em Up podcast, which we were happy about.
Oh, nice. Those Beat 'em Up games are timeless.
Maybe he's been here the whole time.
And we just couldn't see him.
Can't see him.
That's one of his jokes. Yeah, you get the point.
Those Beat 'em Up games are they're timeless though. You can play them and play them and play them. It's like old thrash metal albums. You can listen to them.
Yeah.
Without getting bored.
I like all the metal references you're making into this. I have a feeling just more like metalhead gamers than you imagine. But a lot of people like, Industrial's a big soundtrack for gamers. Some techno, more modern, like, the little kid playing Call of Duty, he's probably listening to hip hop or his mumble rappers or whatever. I'm not going to insult anyone's musical taste, but you know what?
What about Hyperzone? You want to talk about like industrial kind of music? Hyperzone.
Oh, that was a fun game.
Yeah.
I think that's a game I might have to You never played that?
No, it's for Genesis?
No, it was,
Super
SNES.
Nintendo.
Oh.
Yeah,
It might have been on Genesis at one
no,
point.
I don't know. I gotta look it up again. But what a game!
I'll play that for the 12-hour stream so I can show you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll bust out Hyperzone. Also, at one point, when I bust out Streets of Rage.
Oh, Streets of Rage
Yes.
is nice.
Streets of Rage is one of my,
Classic.
classic
Yep.
games.
True game. Yeah, you can play it forever. Especially the first one. I mean, you call, the special move and the guy with the cop car comes with the bazooka.
The bazooka and the machine gun.
Yeah.
Anyone who presses that at the wrong time has to do push-ups.
That's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Okay.
So many games.
Another thing we want to bad behind the scenes. Ray, we all had our share of health problems. I actually, I want to share a personal story. I started this podcast. I was very overweight. I'm still kind of overweight, but you know what? I worked my way at the gym. I lost 30-something pounds.
Ooh,
I felt
nice.
good about that. I felt good about myself, etc., etc. Because it's like, okay, I feel lightweight. My shirts are small again. I could fit in fit in certain shirts, etc., etc. So you look at some early promo photos from the 240p Club. You see the guts sticking out. You see some later stuff. It's like I was looking at some streams I did in 2017. I looked pretty good. Then, nowadays it's 2018. It's July. I did put some of that weight back on because I haven't been going to the gym, unfortunately, and I haven't been eating right. So I know it's been me. But this has I have worked all the time. But usually I do make a point to go to the gym. That kind of inspired me a bit. Plus, hearing about a couple different streamers. One person streamed a 24-hour Twitch stream and then wound up passing away midway through. And last year.
You talk. Whoa.
We talked about it. It was 2016 or 2017.
Passed out or
basically went
or
outside,
died?
smoked a cigarette, then died.
During a stream.
Yeah, midstream. He never came back on his stream. He was still streaming. So people checked on him a while later and then found out he passed out.
No, what, exhaustion?
No, passed out and then died.
Well, he died, that's what I'm saying.
It was a heart condition, I think.
Wow.
Ultimately.
My God.
But
Yeah, he sat down for so long and his the blood flow got restricted.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so, and reading another
that's
story
about
about a Twitch streamer that used to stream 16, 17 hours a day, wound up hospitalized because he turned that into his income, and then, he was getting income for a while, but in order to get income on Twitch, you have to stream 16, 17 hours.
Or you have to be already established elsewhere and just...
Yeah, that too.
You get your base to, subscribe to you.
Yeah, that's another thing. But it's basically, all this, me with weight, Ray has some medical issues. I had some unrelated medical issues that kept me out of work for a little bit. So, all combined, etc., inspired us to want to do a medical-themed podcast where we chatted with certain doctors, we chatted with people that, talk about gaming addiction. That's another thing I wanted to cover. We wanted to talk about all this stuff. It just, the thing was with it, it never felt like the right time. We discussed this year one. However, our fan base wasn't really that big at the time. It's when we wanted to unleash this one, we wanted to have a fan base because this one was important to us. We wanted to reach a whole lot of people. So we talked about it in a couple different podcasts. It's hey, we're going to work on that. Hey, we're going to work on that. It wasn't because of laziness that we never worked on that. I just want to throw that out there. It's because we want to unleash this at the right time. And, it didn't seem like the right time for a while. So, unfortunately, we never got a chance to chat with the medical field, medical profession. We wanted to do it from all aspects. I'm literally picturing this podcast being at least 2 or 3 parts because we're covering every single aspect of it. Physical, mental, basically what happens when you sit down and play video games for 15 minutes, when you sit down and play video games for 2 hours, and when you sit down and play video games for 15 hours.
Wow.
What happens to your physical condition? What happens if you don't eat right? You don't get some exercise. You don't get some blood flow while you're playing.
Just to walk around a little bit, even. Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading.
Well, let me ask you. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was reading. I'll let you ask in a minute. I was just reading a lot of stories too, like gaming addiction, and a lot of these, like, you know, basically one of the common symptoms, one of the common things is you let your personal hygiene go as well as, like, your social life and everything. A lot of people are talking about their social life. When you're gaming for 15, 16 hours straight, you're sitting basically on the same cushion, basically in the same clothes. You might be sweating. You might, you know, most of the time you're sweating because most humans do that during, like, periods of high stress, which certain video games do, you know. So it's basically a mental as well as a physical thing, and not to mention the fact that you're not really using your muscles. You're sitting in a chair, and your blood flow's restricted, and basically it's causing
You
some
say
things to
basically
hurt.
a lot.
I do. I'm sorry.
We all do. I'm guilty of it too.
So you end up like a veal at that point, right? Like kind of the way veal parmesan is like.
No, you wind up like basically. You ever see the South Park episode when they're grinding in World of Warcraft?
Yeah.
You kind of look like that basically, except for the fact that you don't have someone coming out to you with a bedpan where you're shitting and you know.
They call this money. Yeah.
Bedpan, bathroom. You know, she keep down with the bedpan and everything.
Yeah, bam.
Et cetera. No, it doesn't work like that. You know, people still get up and go to the bathroom. Although some people have it during MMORPGs, like you're in the middle of a raid, it's lasting a few hours. You have to go to the bathroom. Suddenly, that Slurpee cup over there looks pretty good.
Oh, say no more.
Yeah, you know exactly where I'm going with this.
Say no more.
So, this is something that I've been meaning to cover for a while. Alright, another thing about the 240p Club. Nikki, I want definitely your input on this.
What?
What would you say our roles are at the 240p Club? What do we do, like individually?
I'm the enforcer.
The enforcer.
Yeah, she knows Taekwondo. She keeps us all in line.
Yeah.
The enforcer.
I am the enforcer. No, I'm honestly, just as far as like, I say I'm the enforcer as a joke or anything, but I also joke about I'm the one who just sucks at video games. I'm the blooper person. I would say Ray is definitely more of the Japanese.
Basically, if you want to compare us to popular gaming site Kotaku, Ray's our like man from Japan. He's not from Japan, but he keeps in touch with some of that. And honestly, the reason why he was the first, well, he was the second person I thought of. Me and one of my buddies who's not here, we like originally established the 240p Club. However, you know, it was never got out of the talking phase. When I wanted to do the actual podcast, like Ray was the first person I thought of. Because obviously out of all my friends, he was the most knowledgeable about retro gaming. And obviously he taught me a whole lot this past 2 years.
I wish I could be doing more, honestly, but hey, that's
life happens.
I mean, I am kind of doing this to get out there more, and it hasn't been an easy process for me, but like I'm still trying.
Yeah, right, well, let's just throw this out there. Like, you know, social, you know, is this, like, helping out a bit with, like, some kind of social stuff? To put it kindly, yeah. So I'm glad we got you out here to do this. And, honestly, you're one of the most important members of the team. It's like, honestly, I can't do this without you. And, we recruited Nikki. Nikki's, like, the link between... Nikki's only a few years younger than us. She's not that much younger, but she's still a few years younger than all of us. But
definitely more in touch with the local gaming scene than either of us.
Yeah, and plus she's in touch with certain things, like especially because you go to a college, so you interact with like what do they call? I don't know what they call a generation after millennial. I think
Generation Z, I think.
Yeah, no, I think I'm lumped under the millennial, to be honest.
Yeah, but it's I don't know. It's a stupid classification. Honestly, some classifications have me lumped as millennial. And
I really don't want to be associated with millennials.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They get a stereotype, man. They like a lot of. I know a lot of millennials. We've had a few millennials on the show. They turned out to be okay. Yeah. It's a stereotype that winds up on the internet. It's like, oh, millennials, this, that. But you basically fall under that category of some of the newer trends with video games that I don't, because like I basically purged myself from that and went straight into retro gaming.
Yeah, they're more Ray and Joe, I would say, are more the NES type, whereas I did not grow up with the NES. I was a generation after with the SNES.
Yeah, but you go to college as well, so you deal with Generation Z, which, you get some of the modern stuff, some modern gaming. I mean, I deal with a little bit of that.
I mean, to be honest, the only game that they play in the game room is Super Smash Brothers.
Which is going to be great once that comes out the Switch.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, the generation that grew up with, like, GameCube or Wii or whatnot.
Yeah, they're all college students now, so they bring Melee, they bring Brawl over.
Yeah, and all the original GameCube games, and also for some reason N64 kind of like goes into that generation, even though that was before their time. You still hear about people talking about Ocarina of Time.
I think they were just about being born around then because...
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, because Ocarina of Time, I think they said it's about the 20-year anniversary for Ocarina of Time.
Yeah. Granted, I was born after the Atari made its way to North America, well after it made its way to North America, but... I still that was my first video gaming system, and well after the video game market crashed. I think I had an Atari in like 85, 86, something like that. So that tells you something. Nintendo was kind of already out at that point, but, no one had a Nintendo around my way, so.
Yeah, what are they going to call the next following generation?
The next generation, I don't really care.
Yeah, where they classify names and all that.
Let's put it to you this way, man. You had the baby boomer generation. What did you have before that? Basically you had decades being named. You had periods of history being named. Mm-hmm. People are going to look back on this like, basically you had the hippies, you had the baby boomers, you have millennials, you have Generation X, you have Generation Z.
Yeah,
before baby boomers, I think there was flappers in the 20s.
Flappers.
Yeah, but that's only the 20s. That's an exclusive, small time frame.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. It's so funny when you think about like where they come up with these classifications.
People wanting to write an article. I was a journalist at one point. I did journalism for heavy metal websites, and you'd be surprised, basically when you have deadlines to fill, how many adjectives you invent to describe shit. And some of it sticks, that's why we have these classifications. And in all honesty, I have friends of every generation at this point, up until baby boomer. I work with a lot of older people that I get along with pretty well. Yeah. We have different ideals, but, we get along. Yeah. And obviously, I'm close to my father. We'll hit the pub every now and again because my dad is really cool. He's in his 70s and still, rocking. So
that's the way you go, man. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, I'll credit
I want to be like
but,
that.
But... Yeah, he comes from an entirely different... He was born directly before Baby Boomer. Oh. And, just a few years before. He didn't miss it by much. But that's the thing. We have, different, cultural ideals, etc. I don't think, he knows anything about video games except the ones he's purchased for me. But he's never played any. But you know what? We get along.
What do you think about when he first saw it, a video game?
Oh, no, he didn't think of anything. It's just, that's really cool. Yeah, I think he played a few rounds of Duck Hunt because he liked it.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's my dad. I got a Nintendo. He wanted to play some Duck Hunt. He liked it. Of course, I got really addicted to it.
Yeah.
And,
Well, I remember for instance, when our mom first got us Mortal Kombat, or even let us play it, I mean... That's the funniest thing about that. She only saw it, and even for Dad, they only saw it as a video game. Mortal Kombat. I mean, as bloody and gory, and the way people became.
My parents bought me Mortal Kombat for the Game Gear. That's what I wanted. I was weird. I don't know why I wanted it for the Game Gear. I think I wanted to take it with me.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You go on a trip and you're school or something. I mean, that's when Pokemon came out.
Yeah, it was cool.
Everybody wanted that.
Yeah, it was cool. But here's the thing. They wanted to see. They're I heard so many things about this video game. I want to see it. So, they seen it. I didn't mention the fact I didn't put in the blood code, but they seen it, and they were like, that's what they're hyped about. I mentioned this in a bunch of podcasts beforehand. I think I've mentioned this in at least 2 or 3 different podcasts. So.
Yeah, they're hyped about stuff's not even real. I mean, you can't go out to a guy and
we could. You could, but it's going to take a lot of time. They used to do that, and the Aztecs used to do that for their sacrifices.
Well, it's different. I mean, that's all. Yeah, that's different.
But let's not even go into.
That's what I mean. That's a whole different ball game. We talking just like.
I just want to mention despite the fact that we have different generations, etc., etc. There's a lot of games that unite us, and the retro gaming scene is one where you have a lot of younger generation getting into a lot of these games through the older generation, and then you have the older generation. It's I'm not a big Call of Duty fan. My ideal Saturday night is not signing online and getting cursed out by a 12-year-old because I suck at a certain game. I'd rather bust into an RPG, single player, etc., etc.
Have fun.
Ooh, Final Fantasy 3. Oh, I'm gonna bust into this. I haven't played.
Well, that's what turns people off. I mean, it's nice.
But you ignore it. A lot of it's toxic, but you ignore it because it's been toxic for years. I played Ultima Online. We used to have constant shit talk battles, real battles, and then you have the 2 weeks of shit talk on the message boards. That was that back in the day. It was kind of toxic, but it wasn't at the same time because it's just hey, fuck it. It's the same thing. Man. You're playing some random 12-year-old from Des Moines, Iowa, in Call of Duty. He whoops your ass and then calls you quote unquote a faggot. I don't use that word, but
he calls you whatever he wants to call you.
Yeah. And then it's just what the fuck ever. Nikki here wound up beating some kids at Mortal Kombat, and then once they found out she was a girl, they wanted her number.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking
so you know what I did? I did give them a phone number. I gave them the phone number to a local gas station.
Exxon's phone number.
Not that Exxon, but a certain one. But
oh wow.
But yeah, it was. But I think now that a lot of video games are being competitive, they have Street Fighter V on TBS now. They have
I've seen
they have an Overwatch League now, stuff like this.
I've seen the video game championships on Disney Channel.
Yeah. Now that games are becoming much more competitive, the drive to become better at these games are becoming worse and worse and more toxic.
Yeah, which leads to gaming addiction, which is another topic we will absolutely be discussing at one point.
I think it's on the DSM now.
Yeah, but right now we're going to not cover that part because it's an involved topic. All right. In a few years we've been doing this. We've been friends for way longer than we've been doing this. And actually, funny thing about this podcast, it was established in Montreal, Canada. We decided that we were absolutely going to do this, me and Ray, because we were on the same trip to Canada. And then, my wife decided she was going to start a business, and her business is kind of successful at this point. So we all basically, this is a journey of self-enlightenment, of quote unquote. And, we got everyone together. We wound up at the Quiet Kitty Cafe 2 years ago discussing this. We came home that night after, chilling with a bunch of cats for an hour, which is extremely therapeutic.
Yeah, we love cats.
Yes. We wound up recording a demo podcast, just to see how we sound on the air. Basically, we're not going to publish this ever. I still have it on my computer. You're never going to see it. I'm sorry. Don't ask. No emails. Sorry. Long story short, we sounded pretty good. We decided, hey, this is going to be for us. We worked the next 2-3 weeks on 240p Club stuff, invested some money registering the domain, getting a website up and running, etc., designing a logo, having a couple meetings, discussing our topics, getting all our social media stuff in order, and then bam, around July 20th, 2016, we launched the 240p Club with our debut stream. We wound up playing Legend of Zelda on Twitch. Wow. We wound the first quest. I failed to beat it, which I think I'm going to rectify tomorrow. I'm going to probably bust into that at one point. But we established it. Ray, basically did his research. We did great stuff on Atari Game Over. Nikki joined and she did her research. We watched that movie and then we just went into podcast modes. Unfortunately, we did an ill-timed Oregon Trail recording where it's audio only and we're just narrating. That's an idea I had because where'd that come from? Okay, this is none more behind the scenes shit. I was on a long-ass car ride from New York City back to Philly. It's 2 hours, but it was long because I was tired. The person that I was in the car with was playing the Opie and Anthony show. And one of the segments they had was, I think they were playing a video game while the two hosts were basically lambasting this guy. It wound up to the point where I had the idea of, hey, we could do that. You know, we play a lot of video games, so why don't we have one person play and the other two roast them while we're playing? But it turned out really stupid because, you know, we're doing this on a podcast with no video. Doing it straight up audio. We have a platform called Twitch where we can stream this, you know, live. Just play it and still have the roasting, you know?
Roasting.
Yeah. So, the Oregon Trail stream was a tryout. It was really stupid. I'm going to play the real Oregon Trail sometime
Wasn't
on
I the
Twitch.
first person to die?
You were the only person that died that night. My cat even made it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah, you got dysentery, but he
thought-
made it.
I thought I drowned because I'm really small.
Yeah, that's why. We forded the river. The river, I lost a couple oxen, and then Nikki.
That was one of the working titles for our podcast, Why Die? You Died of Dysentery.
That was one of the...
I mean, I'm barely over 5 foot, so.
Larry, last but not least, we're going to close this off right now with our favorite, memories completely for the 240p Club the past 2 years. What is one of our favorite things we've ever done?
I did enjoy the Winterfest that we did.
Winterfest was fun. I had a lot of fun.
I think we
doing
went ice
that,
skating.
man.
No, we did not.
Didn't, because it was a 60-something degree day in the middle of February.
Yeah, the only day that we had time to actually go and do this, we said, we're going to record, then we're going to go ice skating.
Record ourselves ice skating, etc., mix it into the video. Nope! It was 60-something degrees. The ice rink was slush.
Oh, wow.
We were sitting there like, okay, we're just going to record in this random cabin and have a few beers, and that's it.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was
wrong with
a
beer.
fun stream. That was a very fun stream.
Mm-hmm.
Right, what was your favorite moment in 240p Club history?
One of my favorite moments would be the first stream we did with Legend of Zelda.
That was fun.
I wish we had the time to do more stuff like that. Like all three of us. That's how I envisioned our streams going. On our stream channel, at least, just like all three of us collaborating on a single game.
We're going to be doing that tomorrow. But yeah, we will have to be doing that more. It's been harder recently because of our schedules and conflicting schedules to record. All of us with Twitch, basically we come here, we record a podcast or two, but then everyone goes home because work and overtime, etc., in school. So one of these days, obviously, aside from tomorrow, which we'll be all together streaming 12 straight hours. One of these days, we all have to get together and record. Because one of my favorites was some of the early streams we did. I did like what we did. We did a Mega Man stream, Mega Man 3, Mega Man 2. We all recorded together for River City Ransom. I think you came a little late to that.
I came a little bit later, yeah.
Yeah, no, me and Ray started and recorded that. So we'll be doing that a little more. That's the thing. I didn't want to have this be a Twitch channel first and a podcast second. The podcast came first. The Twitch was just an extension of our podcast. So, but we're just doing that for fun. We're not trying to make money off that yet.
One project we've had in our backlog for a while is to try to expand into YouTube. I've wanted to get everyone together to because these two have never played Earthbound. I have, and I love it. I would like to get them into it. So that would be our first YouTube playthrough, basically.
That's going to happen. It's guaranteed to happen. It's just we need to find the time. I'm more available in August, so August we could work on this and then have it edited in time for September. So I'm willing to. I'm going to put it on the record here on the podcast. I'm going to say September. Look for a exclusive YouTube video.
YouTube video series.
Yes. No, it would be a whole series, yes.
Another funny memory that I can think of is you streaming that baseball game.
Oh my god. Okay, I am definitely editing this. I'm going to make a blooper reel eventually. It's just, I need to sit down, have some time to edit just about everything. I gotta go through all Twitch streams. I have them backed up on video. We were streaming for summertime 2017. I did a couple different games. I think Skate or Die, TNC Surf Design, something else. RBI Baseball. I was the Mets. I was playing the Houston Astros, and there was a part in the game where a ball was hit line drive straight to my outfielder. I think I misjudged the ball, finally picked it up, tried to throw it into home plate, wound up throwing it into the outfield, wound up throwing it into the foul territory bleachers. The ball went 3 feet straight into the bleachers. The computer all scored. It was a 3-run home run based on the fact that I threw a ball straight into the stands.
What, glitched?
Yeah, it glitched. It's caught on camera. I was like, my jaw dropped. I'm like, what?
Yeah, didn't understand the program.
I did not understand that whatsoever. I was like, what just happened?
Yeah.
I think I was watching that stream and I had like absolutely no idea what had happened.
Yeah, so I replayed it a couple times. And
That's funny. That's funny.
It was, yeah, that was a pretty nondescript stream. I recorded that right after work. You know, it's just, hey, you know, we need content. I'm going to record. You know, and hey, it's summertime, so why not get everyone in the mood for summer? Threw on my best baseball jersey, started playing. That happens. So you never know what's going to happen here at the 240p Club.
Yeah. Funniest moment, I think, from my solo stream so far would be from my first one, where I was playing Kid Dracula for Famicom and ended up running into the Statue of Liberty. And then I ended up on a trivia show, and since it was all in Japanese and my knowledge of it wasn't that advanced yet, I ended up having no choice but to go to a walkthrough to pass it.
Does anyone remember when I kicked the baby Yoshi off the cliff?
Everyone does.
I'm sorry, not off the cliff, off the platform.
No, it was off a mushroom.
Yeah.
Off a giant mushroom.
Wow.
Star Road, Yoshi hopped out of the egg, and all of a sudden it just goes straight over. I think I've compared that to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where the nuclear missiles turn into a whale and a bowl of petunias, and the whale suddenly has to come to terms with the fact that it exists before it hits the ground and collapses.
I couldn't believe I did that.
It was hilarious.
I meant to pick up the baby, not to.
Oh,
like,
we made a big deal about it. We had a post. I think we had an R.I.P. Yoshi sticker hanging from my wall for a while.
I put like a disclaimer out. It's like, we don't condone kicking baby Yoshis.
Yeah, basically hanging from my computer, R.I.P. Yoshi, and we had the red Yoshi egg, you know.
Yo, these guys roasted me so bad on it.
Alright, finally, what are we looking forward to since we celebrated birthday in this middle of the year, what are we looking forward to third quarter 2018 to second quarter 2019? What are we looking forward to for the 240p Club? I'm going to answer that right now for me, Mega Man from Mega Paws, too.
Well, yes, that too. I would also have to say, hopefully more collab streams, collab YouTube videos in the future, and definitely better and better podcast topics.
Yeah, better podcast topics. You saying our podcast topics aren't good? I know.
A lot of them have been.
Yeah, well, we've had a few where there's a few where we just bullshit, you know. It's just like, okay, I don't have a topic. Let's just roll tape and bullshit. Like the stream, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, hey, it's a birthday. Let's just talk.
Yeah. More games.
Yeah,
more fun. Metal.
Yeah, there you go.
The stream where we were just rattling off every game that came out in 1988, I thought was a bit of a slog, honestly.
I apologize, man. I thought that was a decent podcast because we were just going down the list for
I like that
NX
RPG
titles.
podcast.
The RPG one was the best.
That was a good one.
That was one of my favorites.
Very good one.
Those recorded. We lasted till 3 in the morning recording that, but yeah, it was great. It was
That was
fun.
fun.
Nice.
Yeah,
I think if there's anything I'm looking forward to in the future, it would be I eventually want to stream the entire Fire Emblem series as much as I can get my hands on.
I want to see
For the
this.
240p
I want to
Club.
see you stream the first Famicom game. I played a little bit of
Which
it.
one? Mystery of the Emblem? Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because there was Mystery and then there was New Mystery.
There's a game
Yeah, I can do
I'm
that.
not going to stream it, but it's basically Shining Force for SNES. It's called Feka the Emblem of Justice. I think it has something like similar to do with the Fire Emblem series, but not the same. Mm-hmm. I think it's like some other company's attempt at recreating Fire Emblem.
I do recall a story where the one of the original creators of Fire Emblem actually left. He left the series and went to another series and tried to create a series that was similar. But
It might have been Feka the Emblem.
It might have
Feka the
been.
Emblem of Justice.
I have to hear I have to read the story more.
I think Squaresoft also had like a spin-off tactical RPG for Super NES 2 called Bahamut Lagoon.
I remember the name. Wasn't that for
sounds
Saturn, actually?
familiar.
No, this was for Super NES.
It was
for
Super
Super Famicom. It was a fan translation.
Gotcha. Because I remember Seiken Densetsu 1 and 2, but, you know, I don't remember Bahamut Lagoon, but I heard the name.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, like, yeah, it might have been for SNES. I probably can track it down somewhere, so we'll work on that. That might be one of our future podcast topics, Japanese games that were really good that didn't make their way here.
Now, why are they
Fire
not
Emblem
make
3.
it?
Yes.
Why certain games don't make it here?
Money. Money, time. I'll give you a specific example.
RPGs weren't huge here until Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, that's very
I see.
true.
Okay.
Yeah, so they didn't release a whole lot of RPGs here.
Okay.
The Dragon Warrior series, aka Dragon Quest, like 5 never made it here, right?
Yeah, because Enix's North American division collapsed for a while.
That's also why Terranigma never made it here.
Ah, I
Oh,
see.
God.
Okay.
Even though it had an actual official translation. The
Well,
game
it's
you
why-
play in English is the official translation. It's not a fan translation.
Well, that's why, like, talking about earlier,
That's
you got the
another game I need to go
emulators,
through.
ROMs, and all that because of the fact that
Yeah,
you can
that's
actually
why it kind of
play
got
your-
big.
yeah,
But at the same time,
yeah.
everyone wants to play the original hardware. So,
Oh, yeah,
you know,
I
people
mean-
to the point where people are going to import a Famicom and play it on the Famicom hardware.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's like having the original album that you know.
Yeah,
you know.
that makes sense.
Yeah, you know.
Anyway, we're gonna end it here by saying thank you fans for supporting us for 2 years, for continuing to support us. We'll be back again doing another birthday podcast next year. I guarantee it. Because, you know, the bonds we've made doing this is basically, it's like, hey, it's podcast night. We all gather together. It's an excuse to gather. We watch goofy shit on YouTube before and after we record. Sometimes do a Mario Kart tournament or something
Mania.
similar. Yeah, we went nuts, you know, just basically go nuts, have a good time, drink an entire case of beer, because I think between all of us, we went through an entire case tonight.
Yeah.
It's okay. It
I love
happens.
beer. Beer's nice.
Well, that happens.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm bullshitting, and I do that. You'll see a lot of ums and ums from me. That's just the way I talk. So, from all of us at the 240p Club, thank you, loyal listeners, for all the years of support, which is 2 years so far, but it's going to be more, hopefully. And please tune in tomorrow to our charity stream. Please tune in to Mega Man for Mega Paws on August 4th. We love you all.
Yeah, thanks, guys. You're all pretty awesome.
Muchas gracias.
Multilingual. Origato, listener-san.
Expedisto.
Merci beaucoup. I don't know if I pronounced that right.
Merci beaucoup. That's the
Yeah.
Quebec version of that. Yeah, in Paris they would probably look at me like I had. Yeah, there you go. Russian.
Doc. Sweet.
Dankeschön.
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 Kitos.
Shoes. Kitos. Finnish.
Kitos.
Mina Cropula. It's also Finnish, and it's Finnish for I have a hangover.
Very simple.
Yes. Anyway, from all of us 240p Club, I'm Metallic Joe.
I'm Nikki.
I'm Ray.
And in the corner here, the guest starring.
Phil, man.
He's Phil Man.
That's right.
He's Phil.
That's it.
Thanks for listening to us today. If you want more information on the 240p Club, you want to go to our website, 240pclub.com. Also, we have facebook.com/240p Club, and we're also on twitch.tv under 240p Club.